Why, I just sold my Coinbase coin stock and bought more SQ block stock instead. As I got wiser over the years, I realized that a $300 watch and a $3 million watch still show the same time. That with a $50,000 car and a $15 million car, we can reach the same destination. That a wine of $150 or one of $1,500 generates the same hangover. That in an empty house of 300 square meters or in one of 3,000, the loneliness is still the same. You will realize your true inner happiness does not come from the material things in this world. Whether you fly first class or economy class, if the plane goes down, you go down with it. This is Steve Jobs' last words. He is an idealist and a visionary. So does Jack. Jack seems to like one of those guys that is either loved or hated. But for him, haters outweigh the lovers. So why I sold my Coinbase stock to buy more block stock.
How you like that? How you like that? Nah. Look at you, now look at me. Look at you.
Jack's vision, Bitcoin, integration will supercharge its growth, but Wall Street has no idea. Why I bought Coinbase. Look at its net loss. Q4 23 becomes pretty obvious. I first bought coin at close to $70 per share. Based on the trajectory of coin's earnings, Q4 will be the first time company turns a profit in a bear market. But the stock price surprised me to the upside, and now the valuation compared to Block is night and day difference. Although both companies are fintech, both around $36 billion in market cap, Coin has a forward PE of 60, while Square has a forward PE of 23. So I took profit and I sold out with the home run. I'm actually sick of constantly reading the haters and doubters of the Square on Twitter and CNBC. So here's my take on Bitcoin and Square Biz. Cash App Biz is a whole separate matter. The stock has been selling off on Alyssa Henry's ex-Square Biz head retirement and appointment of Jack as Square Biz's new CEO. Given what a shit show Twitter was under, Jack needs benefit of the doubt as he was basically checked out of Twitter. People automatically assume Square is a shit show. Under the hood as well. I don't know internal culture of the company, but they have a solid executive team and growth of the Cash App, and Square speaks for itself. They also have 4.2 stars on Glassdoor, and Jack has 89% approval rating. Bitcoin the asset and Bitcoin the tool. Okay, this is the key distinction you have to understand, and something Wall Street is ignorantly blind. On Wall Street, literally thinks Bitcoin is a distraction to Block. For Block Square, Bitcoin as an asset is quite boring. You can sell Bitcoin on Cash App. Whatever. You can do that at 1,000 different places. I do expect this business to pick up with the number one upcoming Bitcoin halving narrative. Number 2, release of Block's BitKey. And number 3, the Bitcoin ETF approval. But Bitcoin as a tool is very, very interesting and exciting. First, you have to reframe your mind because most people has been trained to be dismissive of Bitcoin. There are well-respected investors whom are vocal haters of Bitcoin, and many followers just parrot what they say. Bitcoin as a tool is completely new. It requires time to learn and understand. Most people don't like to do that. They think anything new is a scam, especially the talking heads guests on mainstream TV. They think Bitcoin is just a blinking ticker with numbers on a screen. Accepting they don't know how Bitcoin works is an admission of ignorance, so they will not do that. Bitcoin as a tool is flexible. It can be many different things depending on your circumstances and your perspective. For Square, Bitcoin as a tool can be used as payments rail. Bottom line first, integration of Bitcoin as a tool will make Square a payments technology platform for the globe, as opposed to currently a user interface layer built on fragile legacy payments rail on a country-by-country basis. To understand this concept, we have to touch on the history of payments and Square. Intro of credit cards from 1950. Nobody thinks about credit cards now, but when it first came out, it was a big deal. Although adoption took a long time, carrying around cash is inconvenient now. You have these filthy paper and metal coins in your pocket. Who knows where they've been? It's bulky and heavy. It's risky and it's limited. Then comes the credit card, the plastic thing that weighs nothing. All you need is this piece of plastic for all of your purchases. No need for any filthy paper and metals in your pocket. For the consumer, it's great. For the merchant, it's good too, except number one, the merchant has to pay 2 to 3% of the transaction price to the middleman, Visa and MasterCard. Number two, you have to wait for the payment to settle. Can be rejected or later reversed. And number three, it takes weeks for the money from your sale to actually hit your bank account. 2 to 3% fee and wait times are reasonable for this magical payment technology in 1950. It's the same in 2023. After 70 plus effing years, more on this later. Intro of Square. It's the year 2009. Almost 60 years after credit cards were introduced. For your local farmers market merchants wants to make sales using credit cards too, but they can't. The hurdle of accepting credit cards is too high for small mom and pop shops and merchants at your friendly farmers market. Then comes Jack, who is then 33 years old, took issue with this. He wants the solo small merchants to make sales using credit cards too, and decided to do something about it. How hard can it be? The naive 33-year-old thinks to himself, so he starts to dabble into it, but turns out it's extremely hard because the payment rails are all effed up, and the incumbents don't want Jack effing around with the walled castle they built. Somehow the 33-year-old borderline hippie develops a cute little dongle that connects to your phone via the headphone jack. Square was born. Now anyone, no matter how small, with a mobile phone can accept credit cards to make a sale. Now think for a minute. By 2009, Visa and MasterCard has hundreds of thousands of employees, probably 1 million employees that came and went. It's been 60 effing years since credit card was born, and it took a 33-year-old hippie for a farmer to accept credit cards. To me, this is proof that payment system is broken, and Incubants likes it that way. Square is taking off. There is literally not one farmer's market in the USA that isn't using Square to accept credit cards. Jack is happy, not only because Square is growing, but because the carrot farmer in rural county can sell his carrots more easily using Square. The visionary and idealistic Jack wants to help more people make their small businesses grow. He tries to expand outside of the US borders, and then he finds out he has to basically start all over again. He learns each country has their own separate payment rails, their own banks, their own currency, their own regulations, their own incumbents, etc., etc. To expand Square into a new country, Jack has to go country by country and deal with millions unique issues that countries' payment rails have. Jack thinks to himself, the internet is open and global. Payment rails are closed and local. How can I make payments be more like the internet? Introducing Bitcoin. I will skip Bitcoin's inception to the evolution up to today. There are many books out there, and I cannot do justice in this video. Bitcoin you think of is the red, green, blinking ticker. There's actually something called the Bitcoin network, and Bitcoin, the asset, just lives within it. The Bitcoin network allows you to build something on top of it, like you can build email on top of the internet. The Lightning Network is built on top of the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin network equals layer number 1, the internet. Lightning Network equals layer 2, the email. The Lightning Network allows for instant global payment at cost that is a fraction of a penny. The network is also open, meaning anyone anywhere can use it, as opposed a closed network like Visa, where you must have a Visa card to use the Visa network. Going back to the question Jack was pondering on how to make payments open and global like the internet, the answer is Bitcoin. So it goes like this. Bitcoin network equals layer number 1, the internet. Lightning Network equals layer 2, the email. Square equals layer 3, like Gmail, built on top of email. Bitcoin plus Square, just like how introduction of Square's dongle allowed any merchant with a mobile phone in the US to accept credit card payments. Integration of the Bitcoin network will allow any merchant with a mobile phone in the world to accept digital payments. Square broke a 60-year credit card barrier with the dongle. Square is about to reinvent payments to be like the internet. Square was thus far built on bumpy dirt road existing payment rails, and Jack is trying to relocate the house on a steel concrete foundation. This man is about to change how commerce is done. Imagine a cook in the middle of nowhere in the country you never heard of. All he needs is his phone and a Square app to make a sale. And he gets to enjoy all of the software features Square users in a hip cafe in LA get to have. Same can be said for a fruit stand owner in Zambia or coffee shop owner in Toronto. The payments platform becomes truly global. You can do all of this while the merchant doesn't even know Bitcoin is involved. All they see is the local currency they are using. Bitcoin network is just doing its work in the background. Nominal percent of sales Square takes will be smaller, but TAM will explode. Wall Street thinks Jack is distracted by Bitcoin and unfairly discounts its business value. Why only Square stock and not others? I made my case on why Jack and Square is the only option to create this new ecosystem. You may wonder, why not PayPal? Do you know what ex-PayPal president David Marcus is doing right now? He is building a business on top of Bitcoin's Lightning Network. He could have joined any company, worked on any project, worked on any blockchain, but no, he chose Bitcoin. This company froze people's funds for people saying things the company didn't agree with. They did adopt stable coins by creating PayPal coin. Cool news on the surface, but doesn't make sense below the surface. Stablecoin's promise is permissionless transaction. From what I understand, PayPal the company exerts great control over PayPal coin. Why not just use internal PayPal ledger? Is the PayPal stablecoin much different from that? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm long on Square stock. You are such a good boy for watching my video right till the end. Bye.